It's the 3rd of July and I'm Tom Glasson. Welcome to The Roast. Tonight on the show, the Commonwealth Bank is facing a Senate inquiry into fraud. So I'm starting to feel a little bit nervous about the safety of my own money. Fortunately though, I have phone banking.
Welcome to the Commonwealth Bank. If you're calling about the Senate inquiry into alleged fraud, press 1.
Yes, I am, and I want answers. Oh, yeah, 1. You know, I have to say I preferred the cool waiting tune when it was that MIDI version of The Girl from Ipanema. Honestly, this is ridiculous. I just want to talk to an actual person. A very dodgy actual person. You know what? I'll give it to the end of the headlines with Mark Humphries. Beep, beep.
Outgoing Disability Discrimination Commissioner Graham Innes has used his final speech to criticise the government's rhetoric, particularly that of Treasurer Joe Hockey.
I have never accepted the concept of lifters and leaners. I prefer a more positive and less judgmental society where everyone's contribution is accepted and valued.
Innes, who is legally blind, made the stinging speech at the National Press Club, no doubt leaving the government wishing he was legally mute. But fortunately for them, Innes is on the way out.
He will finish in his role on Friday and will not be replaced by a full-time Disability Discrimination Commissioner because of budget cuts.
But don't worry, as with many of the government's budget cuts, the solution is less than satisfactory.
Senator Brandis announced on Tuesday the Age Discrimination Commissioner Susan Ryan would add disability discrimination to her existing responsibilities.
So Susan Ryan, the Age Discrimination Commissioner, will now add the welfare of an extra 4 million people to her responsibilities. It's like asking a full-time firefighter if they could also mind the beach because we've fired the surf lifesavers. I hope you're a lifter, Susan. Now, it's disappointing for disabled people to be losing a tireless campaigner like Graham Innes, but if you do have a disability, don't worry, you've still got the safety net of the disability support pension for when you can't work.
Back to work. Disability support pension on the scrap heap.
So maybe that's not a sure bet, but at least the National Disability Insurance Scheme is delivering in full.
NDIS funding levels not satisfactory, disability service providers say.
Okay, so there are some serious problems. But here's a solution. Why not discuss and debate them with the disability community on Ramp Up, ABC's website dedicated to giving disabled people a voice?
The ABC disability website Ramp Up announced that it would cease publication on June 30 after failing to renew its contract with the federal government.
Don't really know what you can do now. Maybe just listen to some comforting music.
Lean on me.
No leaning.
You gotta lift.
That's better. You're sorted now. The government has appointed a Conservative commentator and a former Liberal politician to the panel that appoints board members to the ABC. Welcome to Commie Central, comrades. BYO Beret. Janet Albrechtson, a columnist at Rupert Murdoch's Australian newspaper, will be an especially great addition as she loves talking about the ABC.
Business as usual at biased broadcaster. Why Mark Scott should resign.
Lucky for her, she'll now have the chance to read that column to his face. Having a columnist from The Australian deciding who should be on the board of the ABC is like having someone from the Sea Shepherd appointing captains to the Japanese whaling ships. Last year, Janet tweeted about her dislike of the ABC's fact-check department.
I want my money back from their ABC.
Well, Janet, you'll get it. Enjoy your new salary. And the federal government has banned the importation of rhinoceros body parts into the country. Bad news for readers of Rhinoceros magazine, who got a horn with issue 1 and now will never be able to finish that rhino. Environment Minister Greg Hunt, seen here failing to communicate with some sea life, says he hopes to extend the ban to African lions, and hopefully once that's done, he can move on to a ban on people bringing in Madden brothers. Mr. Hunt has spoken out against hunting, but if he really wanted to send a message, he'd change his name to Greg Don't Hunt. For The Roast, I'm Mark Humphries.
Thank you, Mark. So the 12 new senators are all sworn in and they start their 6-year terms on Monday. Tell you what, it's been a wild week in Canberra, and I should know because I bought the DVD. They totally take their ties off for you if you throw some amendments at them. So what's an example of what we can expect to see on the new Senate's agenda? Let's find out in our final look at Senate Week.
Senate Week.
Hopefully the first order of business will be something light to ease them in. You know, the political shallow end. And one of the first things on the Senate's agenda will be proposals to weaken regulations of financial advice laws despite a fraud scandal involving Australia's largest bank. I sure hope Ricky Muir has sprung for one of those car snorkels. That is going to ruin the upholstery. All of a sudden, Clive Palmer and his gigantic boat don't seem that crazy. So what have the banks done this time?
A Senate investigation found fraud and cover-up at the bank as dodgy financial planners gave reckless advice to customers in return for commissions.
Reckless advice like going swimming less than 30 minutes after eating and always swallow chewing gum? Or reckless like recommending investment in portfolios for commission without telling the customer they were high risk? It's probably the chewing gum thing. But in case it was the high risk bit, the Senate prepared a 553-page report with 61 recommendations to the government, strongly urging them to start a royal commission.
On the report's call for a royal commission, it wasn't unanimous. Liberal Senator David Bushby disagreed.
It takes a brave man, a man of principle, to go to a hearing, listen to all the evidence, then stand up to the majority and say, I am not convinced.
Senator Bushby did not even attend the hearing on the 10th of April when the whistleblower and the victims gave their evidence.
You brave absent man. Probably because he was too busy working on his contribution to this 553-page Senate report. His contribution of 6 pages, front and back. Actually, no, just front. So Bushby explained very briefly that there was no need for further investigation into CBA, and with good reason.
Bushby said he did not believe the majority report had got this balance right and noted that the Commonwealth Bank had already made compensation payments totalling $51 million to 1,127 customers.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, $51 million, that is quite a lot. They are definitely going to feel the sting of that.
CBA is set to make a record profit this year of more than $8 billion.
It's a very tiny sting, like a bee with no butt. Okay, but when faced with massive scale fraud, dodgy advisors and alleged cover-ups by management, thank God we had the Australian Securities and Investments Commission watching our backs.
The committee said both ASIC and the bank seemed to place the reports of fraud in the too hard basket.
Yep, looks like when both ASIC and CommBank went to the basket shop, they had sold out of the do your job basket. They must have been bought by every other workplace in the country. Okay, too hard. It really seems like the only comfort we can take now is that we still have crucial protections in place for consumers of financial advice.
Senator Bushby gave the thumbs up to the government's rollback of protection for consumers of financial advice.
Sorry, I meant to say the only thing we can take comfort in is that someday we'll all be dead and the banks will have to steal money from our kids. Because rolling back this protection means banks will once again be allowed to reward financial planners who encourage people to use the bank's own dodgy investment products. What do you have to say for yourself, CommBank?
I'm making a positive difference to my clients' financial well-being.
I am helping people to achieve the lifestyle that they want in retirement.
I am providing my clients with a clear financial future.
I am a financial planner.
I am a financial planner.
Yeah, okay, I'll admit that version actually was a much better choice than their rough cut.
I am ensuring my clients' financial well-being.
I can help simplify my clients' financial future.
I said clients, I meant to say my own well-being.
Because having no savings does simplify my clients' finances.
I am helping myself achieve the lifestyle I want in retirement.
I am a financial planner.
I am a financial planner.
I'm a financial scammer. I'm a financial planner.
We are Commonwealth Bank Financial Planning.
Planner.
And we, who have had money in your account since we were Dolomites, are very worried. We'll be right back.
Have you ever duped a customer out of a substantial amount of money? Why did you do that? Because you're purely motivated by profit and the regulations in place to stop you duping someone weren't strong enough? Or are you just an asshole? Are you that Wolf of Wall Street everyone's making movies about? We'd love to hear about it. At the Roast TV or hashtag RoastTV.
But the wider issue about this whole banking scandal is that with so many stories about rogue traders, risky investments, and ASIC saying, we will definitely look into that tomorrow, it's just, I'm really tired today. Sometimes it feels like banking is a game that everyday people just aren't supposed to win.
Good afternoon, how can I help you?
I was just wondering if you could talk me through some of your financial services.
Certainly.
It's time to play the game show every Australian is playing but just doesn't know it. Beat the Bank! Beat the Bank, the game where an Australian consumer plays against a big bank in the minefield of the finance industry and tries to come away not losing everything. Are you ready to play?
Sure am.
But I don't even know.
Fantastic! But first, David, what fabulous showcase of prizes do we have up for grabs this evening?
It's an old car. It's a brown 1986 Toyota Camry with a sticky driver side window. Plus the deed for a 3-bedroom 5-row. And the financial security of this bouncing baby boy.
What? That's all my stuff. And that's my bouncing baby boy.
For now, it's time for round one.
Round one.
The first question is for you, customer. What should you invest in? And remember, you can phone a financial advisor.
Yep, I'll call a financial advisor.
Yellow? Yeah, the answer is my bank's products.
Okay, yeah, I'll go with her bank.
She said that she... You know better than that, you naughty financial advisor. No recommending your own bank's products for a commission. That's against the law. At least for now. As for you, customer, it's a shame you took that advice because you've now lost your car and house.
What?
And that bouncing baby boy. So you're the eternal carryover champion. How do you feel?
Great. I'd just like to thank weak financial laws, a crappy regulatory body and a disinterested government for my win. I couldn't have done it without them.
So true. Well, that's it for tonight. And like we always say here on Beat the Bank, the customer's always screwed. Good night.
Right, so, how can I help you again?
I've lost everything. I mean...
You poor thing. Yeah. Can I interest you in a loan?
Well, the good news is it looks like it's about to get easier for the banks. And with that, we come to the end of the episode, which also means the end of Senate Week. I hope you've been so inspired by our discussion of the Senate that you create your own Senate enthusiast party. In the meantime, though, with the new senators to take their seats for the first time on Monday to deal with this mess, there's only one thing left to say: good luck, Australia.
Good luck, Australia.
Good night.